Hey guys, it's the Abstractionist. I'm here with part 3 of this deck situation. It's Labor Day. I'm off. This is the last day I'm off, so decided to do as much as possible in my spare time. Okay. Alright, I just want to make sure I open something. So basically in the other two I did a like kind of like a little recap of my decks and which one was staying, which ones weren't. After this, because I think I might be able to get through these. After that, then I'll do kind of more like the maybes, and then like the final what stayed, what didn't, etc. So here we go. So it's like my bed is just littered with the rest of them. This is not my personal collection of decks, meaning these aren't really decks that I use personally. Meaning they're not like really on my altar, they're not really like in that more private space used for personals. Currently, some point I did use some of these for personal stuff, but for the most part these are not personal decks, as in decks I use for self. Anyway, continue on. Oracle of Dr. John D. This is a yes, only because it always asks really good questions, and I like that. So it comes with a little book and this like thing you're supposed to like spread out or whatever, which I never used because like I never read the guidebook of stuff and I never use like the tools. But it comes like this, and it has like different sections. So it's like astrologer or astronomer and magus and geographer and stuff like that, and it goes by colors also. But then when you get to the section, it always has like a bunch of questions. Let's see. There you go. Because I feel like it'll catch the light just slightly better. I don't know. So this is a yes. I enjoy it just because it asks questions, and they always seem to be relevant to the topic at hand. So this is a yes. Next we have the Da Vinci Enigma Tarot. This is a yes, but I need to get a second copy because I also ordered this on eBay and the person didn't have all the cards. And sorry, somebody texted me. And I like wrote on it, was like, I didn't know how many were supposed to be in there. Now that's fine, because I guess this doesn't say how many is supposed to be in here, but like also like you could have counted this, like I don't know. So I would like to get this because I'm drawn to the artwork. It comes with the book. I'm drawn to the artwork. Yeah. Let me see if I can adjust this. Maybe. And stuff like that. So I like the art. Maybe. I don't want you to see it like that. Yeah. Okay, yeah, more light, way more light. When it adjusts like that. Yeah, so I really enjoy this deck, but I have to get a second copy because this one is missing the Queen of Swords, I think, and I'm like, so yes, but second copy. Next, the Lovers Tarot, Jean Lyle Leo. I enjoy this. This is a majors only, but I like this art style. They're huge cards. I love really huge cards. And I just find it to be really great. Like, they're just cool cards. Like, you know. So I would keep these. I do like them. they come up with really great messages. I find Jupiterian solar messages with these, maybe a little bit of Venus. But yeah, I enjoy them. They're nice and big, so you don't have any issues fucking seeing detail like some of these decks. But I also have enough kind of like area to kind of zoom in on certain things that draw my eye, because you know, every time you read, I feel like something new draws your eye. I feel like I'm not one of those people that has a standard meaning for the cards. There's just meanings that I know have come up and have resonated more, but the standard meaning of a card or the established meaning is always kind of changing for me. Mine is one or two things, and usually they sit outside of tarot. They sit more in the realm of experience. So yes, Tarot of the Alchemical Magnum Opus. This is Robert in Place. I had another deck of his that I sold, and I kind of like regret it, but then I don't. I feel like I would rather explore a lot more of his books than his tarot at this point, but I enjoy this. This gives me great readings. It's a Saturn deck for me, but it gives me great readings in terms of ancestors, legacy, and cycles, and I just like that, and I would like to study him more, to gain perspectives on perhaps what that means in terms of like alchemy and ancestors and stuff like that. So I like this deck. It's not pocket size, but kind of pocket size. Like it's around the size of my palm, but it's a little wider and just slightly taller. But I enjoy it. So this is a yes, and you can see why most of these are in my room, because they actually are yeses. A lot more of these were yeses. The Lightseers Tarot. This is a yes, because it gives very clear readings to me, and it's more about like, don't be shy, be in the moment, explore. Now I will say this is one of the few decks where I don't get so bugged off by the contemporary art, although contemporary art were people who look like people out here. I'm not that kind of person. I don't really like contemporary decks. If they're contemporary, they tend to be abstracted. They tend to be, not swords yet. They tend to be abstract. They tend to be like kind of quirky, like contemporary. Like I'm thinking of like the Apparition Tarot or something like that. Like, you know, that's what I mean by like contemporary, but it's more abstract, kind of like art style. So I really enjoy this deck. I enjoy the messages. I think they're very profound, but they are clearer and they're encouraging. So I do like this. Deviant Moon Tarot. This is a maybe. And I know the deck did not like me saying that. This is a really good deck for me. However, I just feel like I get like messages because I have Neptune, like Neptunian kind of things going on. I don't know. I feel like this deck like subtly like creeps me out, and how spooky accurate. No, but it creeps me out, and it's kind of like I get messages with it, but I get messages, maybe it's that I get messages relating to trauma about this, and it's just like power struggles and power dynamics and like very subtle threads of you don't know where shit is coming from kind of things as far as energetics, and it's kind of like a mystery. So I don't know if I want to like go with this, but I like it enough, so it's a maybe. It's probably gonna be a yes. Sun and Moon Tarot. This is probably gonna be a maybe for me, only because I feel like I have brighter decks than this. I think this is more Thoth based. I'm not really a person who is in the big debate of Thoth versus Rider-Waite versus Marseille. I kind of find that I have more Rider-Waite type decks. I think Thoth just, But people say Thoth is like deeper and it's the blah blah blah, and I don't necessarily think that, only because I mean, yeah, there's a lot of symbolism and you can go into a lot about what he thought and what was put in the deck. But the readings that I've gotten have been very clear. Like, they're not convoluted. They're not like up here. They're like very mundane. So yeah, so this is the deck. I do like it, but yeah, it's kind of mild for me. So this is probably gonna go. So this is the first goer. Yeah, so yeah. The mother piece, this is a yes, but I don't know how I would be using it for other people. I have a second copy and I was using the smaller copy as my personal, but I kind of like switched that because I'm kind of like tired of struggling to see these, and I like them, but I kind of don't know if I would want to do certain readings for people with these. But I will be open to exploring the book and what it has to say, because I have a book, but I think there's like a bigger, like there's the book that can come with the deck, and I do have that personal reading, you know, personal stuff. But I think there's a larger book that she explains like a lot more stuff, you know? So this is gonna be yes, but I don't know if I'm gonna keep the smaller version, is what I'm trying to get at. Awakening Aeon Tarot. This is a yes. I like this deck. It's very subtle. I feel like it works. This deck likes to have simpler readings, and then it also can go into many different directions. It tends to go on a tangent like me. So this is an eBay deck. The maker basically kind of like paper mache, I guess, the artwork, and you know, took photos of it, because I thought it was going to be like I was getting an actual deck with like actual paper, like the paper, you know, like, and then I was like, oh, I didn't get that. But it's pictures, and how else would you be able to reproduce it if you didn't make it digital, you know, wasn't thinking. So this has some kind of like I Ching in there, and then it has a little bit of like astrology associations, and I just like it. Like, I like it. The guidebook is not like a typical guidebook, because it gives you like a sentence or two. Well, it gives you a paragraph, but some of them are like as short as that, and some of them are long like that. And it's kind of like poetic and stuff, you know, poetic. It lingers on, you know, it lingers a little bit, and you're kind of like left wondering what's going on, and I like that. It's like a Mars deck for me. But Mars, if Mars is in a spiritual placement, I guess. So this is a yes. Voyager Tarot, yes. I like the collage-y type style of decks, so yeah. The Ritual, I think the Ritual Tarot kind of looks like this. But yeah, I really enjoy this. This is more Uranus to me, starseedy, if you could do that. It also helps for me with trauma, uncovering the bigger mysteries of life, but leaving it open. It won't tell you everything, so it is kind of mischievous in that way. So don't ask something that you want a definitive, concrete answer to, because it'll tell you an answer, but it's like the answer is kind of incomplete, and you'll have to experience what's going on to unravel or undo the message. Are these descriptions coming out of my ass? But it's just like, as you kind of like think it through, yeah. Fountain Tarot, this is a maybe. It's Jupiterian to me. I don't know why I'm telling you like my planetary associates for some reason. This is like, if you were like Alcoholics Anonymous or like a recovery program or some shit like that. Like that's kind of the vibe I get for this. This is a maybe for me, like a huge maybe. Maybe because I don't pick it up that much and I feel like I'm not counseling people. I'm not counseling you, so you know, but it does give you good messages like that. Outside of that realm, it's kind of hard to read, but yeah, it's a maybe. Kawaii Tarot, this is going to be most likely a go, and I've repurchased this deck because I missed it. It's a Uranus deck to me, but it's one of the hardest decks for me to read, and maybe because it's so simple, it wants you to just, this is it, you know. I feel like if you want to use this, pull one card. I don't feel like this is a deck where you need to or should pull multiple cards. For some reason, I just don't feel like that's a good idea, because then you kind of try to relate to the reading, or try to explain it through like archetype, or try to explain it through like some sort of static meaning, and it's very immovable. This deck, it's very surprising. So if I do keep it, it will be just for a challenge, but for right now it's gonna go. I might want to put it in the maybe pile, right? All right, let's move it to the maybe pile then. Maybe. Shadowscapes Tarot, I want to say maybe, but I personally love the readings that I've gotten. I just don't use it anymore. It's a Neptunian deck for me. I just wish the cards were bigger. I like this deck a lot. It's given me really good readings, and I have my own system for how it is. Yeah, it's just one of those decks I really wouldn't want to give away, even if I don't use it anymore. Like my Zombie Tarot, my personal deck, Zombie Tarot, I don't use it anymore. It aged out. And energetically, it doesn't have too much to say. Yeah, I like it. I still get good readings when I do use it, so I'm gonna keep it. But yeah, and it does come with a like companion. And yeah, she was not playing. She was not putting no full color like stuff on here. And I understand it, because I know people will probably love to steal the artwork from this. Cosmic Tarot, I'm gonna keep this one. This is a Venus deck for me, and I do think if I keep this one, then I'm gonna get rid of the tarot one. I like this as a Venus deck. It doesn't give readings just about relationships. It gives readings about love, and it just, I think, ways of being and moving through the world. I'm trying to remember like readings I've done with it, and it's like funny when I do readings, people be like, yeah, you said this and that. Like, I don't know what I said. Like, I don't really remember what I said, to be honest. So there's something like Hollywood about it, which is kind of the vibe that I wanted in the other deck, and it does have in the other deck, but I feel like this is more like the hidden desires of Venus. I feel like it's a little bit more sensual, a little bit more observant than the other one, and I think I enjoy this one a little bit more. So this one is definitely staying. Darkness of Light Tarot, this is probably gonna go. I would be so sad if I wanted it and I like couldn't get this kind anymore, because they have it with like white. With white borders now, and I'm like, you fucking ruined it. This is probably gonna go. This was more of a Jupiter deck, but more Jupiter as in like karmic, I don't know, pitfalls and shit that you had to go through. You would think it'd be like a Saturn deck to me with how dark it is, but no, it was more of a Jupiter deck. So yeah, probably gonna go. Next, Golden Universal Tarot. This is my ratchet deck. The box is ratchet. The card readings be ratchet. It just be ratchet. This is a good one for me with relationships, and a good one for me for figuring out text messages. Oddly enough, but like kind of like the emotions behind people's texts and what they're thinking and like what they're not saying. So if you like that kind of aspects, you probably would like this, like foiling. This probably will go though. If I do keep it, it would just be one of those decks that just stays. Because this, I really wouldn't be able to sell this. I would just have to give it away. So, yeah. Nicoletta Chicoli Tarot, keep. This is it can be a very cruel deck. You also don't want a lot of cards with this because I feel like the energy is very overwhelming and a little bit disassociating or a little bit unsettling. But I like it. It gives good readings. It gets at loneliness. It gets at isolation. To me, I feel like it gets at your hidden fears. Generally, fears that maybe have been there for a while but have not been acknowledged. Not necessarily in childhood, but just when you feel small, I think. So yeah, there's that. So this is a yes, definitely. Crystal Tarot is another yes. This is more like a dreamscape. You know what? This will actually be a maybe because I like it, but I don't use it nearly as much. So yeah. It's a Neptunian dream world type, and it kind of plays into the art style. I do like this art style, but I don't know if I would want the deck or would I want the just an art print of something like this. Like, I don't know, I feel like I would like the art print. It reminds me of like the Beauty and the Beast when they were like explaining the story and it was on like the stained glass or whatever. It kind of reminds me of that. It's like so hard because it's trying to like focus on me and it's like, no, focus on her, focus on her. So yeah, this probably will go. You know what? If I'm feeling unsure, I'll put it in the maybe. Good Tarot. I wanted this deck for a really long time, and I don't even use it like that. So this probably is gonna go. If I do use it, it's not gonna be a tarot deck. It's gonna be like more of an oracle, and I'm gonna do pathfinding with it. So I'm gonna put this in a maybe. I think as I get more into my animist kind of thing, I'm less interested in tarot because the animist kind of way that they explore things is usually through like indigenous, usually Native North American, maybe South American, maybe Aboriginal, the animist, maybe African, but not necessarily so much, and definitely kind of more like European type. And I don't find animism associated with these cultures. I just feel like it's almost like it's a universal heartbeat going through it. So I like this deck. I want it for a while, but it's definitely not a tarot deck for me. It's more like an oracle deck and a pathfinding deck. So this is a maybe. The OK Tarot. This is a yes. It's a Mercury deck for me, and I fucking love this deck. It's really good for like tarot challenges. Like people, I know people don't like very simple decks like this. Like a lot of people, they be like, there's no real like meaning on here. There's nothing I can pull from. But this deck actually gives really good meaning, like give really good advice, and it really does talk, and I like it. I like it. I feel like it may not work so much in a reading, or it has a specific reading that it wants to do, but if you want to do a tarot challenge with this, where you pull a card or you pull a few cards and you go through each question like I was supposed to be doing for a tarot challenge, then I think you would like this deck. I think you would like it. So this is definitely a yes for me. Mandala Astrological Tarot, yes, only because there's no other deck that fits what this does. I feel like this is very Plutonian, but Pluto in fire. If I am able to live to see Pluto in Aries, I'm gonna do a video about that, then I would like this. This gives me global events. This gives me psyche. It gives me like a bunch of stuff. I'm not so keen on like trying to figure out the esoteric meanings of the cards and like Pisces and Pluto and stuff like that. I kind of feel like it's the energy that's coming through less than like a traditional meaning. It's like the energy of that is there. It's almost like this would be good if you were reading a birth chart and you wanted to pull in different energies to kind of like come through and show lessons or show itself. So I like it because of that. Tarot del Fuego, yes, it's a Neptunian deck for me. I fucks with it. Oh, this is a maybe actually. Only because I don't use it so much. It's not necessarily overwhelming, but I really feel like you could get away with just using 1 or 2 cards for this. Yeah. I like it. I bought it because I was drawn to it, but since I don't use it too much, I gotta explore why. So we put it in the maybe. 7C, this is a yes. I fucks with this deck. It's not a traditional tarot deck. The artist actually worked with a company to create this, and the artist is from where I'm from. Like they lived in the city as far as, you know, when I knew of them. I didn't know them personally, but yeah, they created this deck in combination and like conjunction or partnership with like a company, and I think it was for a video game or something like that. But this is essentially the deck that when he explained it, or they explained it, they were like, this would be a deck that people in the world of 7C, I guess is the game, this would be a deck that people in that game would have. So these are kind of like the archetypes and stuff like that that they would have. So it kind of follows tarot as in like the minor arcana, but it doesn't really when it comes to the major. But I really like it. It's very Plutonian to me. I enjoy it. Klimt tarot, yes, but a bigger size. It's really pretty, but I kind of don't like the pocket size just because I feel like I just want larger gorgeousness for this. I really enjoy this deck. It's a Venus deck for me, so I do helix readings on it. Basically, helix readings would be readings that explore like you and them meeting each other, and then like who you are when you part ways or when you come out the other side of the lessons that you want. This is a deck for that. So yes, but a larger size, and they do have a larger size on Llewellyn. I think I got this by accident. I think I wanted to get the regular size, but I clicked on this one instead, and then when I got it, I was like, wow, this is so small. But it turns out they do have a regular size edition, which I'm going to get eventually one day. So I'm gonna stop it here. We're gonna do part 4, and then because I have space, I upgraded to like 2 terabytes of space, or a terabyte of space on Google. We're gonna keep going, so it's gonna be like 6-7 videos with this. But yeah, all right, deuces, let's go to part 4.